What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're on a fantastic day today. And today we have massive unboxing number 43 for you all. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video, as today we have a very exciting massive unboxing. We have so many various models here, as you can tell, some really interesting stories, and I'm really excited to dive into these, and I hope you are as well. So without any further delay, everybody, let's just go ahead and get started with the top. Alrighty, everybody, welcome to massive unboxing number 43. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for this. Again, we have some really cool models here, and I'll explain why they're all out of the box here to begin. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first three models we'll be taking a look at here were Christmas models from my mom. So unless you want to see those in wrapping paper, I thought I'd already get those out. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one here. So right here we have the NG models, 1:400 scale, Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the fantasy pink one livery. So this is a really unique aircraft. I was certainly not expecting NG to do a fantasy aircraft like this, but it was actually Dreamliner Fan 2016 back in 2023. On Instagram, he made a concept of a pink Southwest aircraft as a April Fool's joke. NG took it pretty seriously, as you can tell, and they ended up making a model of it last year. So this is too cool of a model not to buy. A very unique concept here for sure, and will we see more of this from NG? We'll have to see. But honestly, I thought it looked kind of cool, and I hope Southwest does implement some sort of breast cancer awareness livery in the future. I think that would be pretty cool, but nevertheless, fantasy models will certainly do in the meantime. So let's go ahead and take a look at this box. Boeing 737 MAX 8, here's the CGI right here. It's more of a lighter pink than what the box is showing right here, so we'll see that more here shortly. We have some various colors here to kind of represent the pink, including this shade right here. Southwest registration's 888 Quebec, so that obviously it's a fantasy plane. Pink one, NG models 1:400 scale, and again, box is pretty similar, and I can't believe I'm about to get a character card, or not, I'm sorry, a CRP card for this, which I'm really excited about all those. I'm up to like 550 points with all the models that are coming in, so excited to redeem that soon, but nevertheless, item number 88015. So again, a really interesting aircraft here. This is going to be really interesting to take a look at, so let's just go ahead, and that honestly does look pretty good. Take a look at that, and I'll get the card out to go with it. So here's the card as well. But yeah, this is a really unique aircraft. I'll go ahead and just get it out of the plastic so that we can see a little bit more before we get started with the actual review here. And honestly, to be completely honest, I kind of like it. And there it is, the pink one Southwest 737 MAX 8. Alrighty, everybody, and here's the NG models, 1:400 scale, Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the pink one fantasy livery. So this was the only aircraft I asked for Christmas, because I could have asked for a bunch, but I just ended up buying them on Black Friday so that I would save money. And my mom did give me some annual surprise models too, so that ended up working out. And then we talked about the British Airways A380 from my grandmother in that video too, so check that one out if you haven't. But nevertheless, really excited to have this. This honestly looks really cool. I personally think it looks great, and it's very cool for different, and it'll fit very well into the fictional replicas. So without any further delay, we're not going to waste any further time and go ahead and get into this model, guys. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So right here we have the cockpit windows along with the nose cone as well, so that looks really good. You got some various pitot tubes and panels, so those also look really nice. You got the pink one titles here too, and then you got the nose landing gear with the nose landing gear door, so overall that looks really good. Here's the L1 door along with the Southwest Airlines heart logo right there. That also looks very nice. Then of course Southwest is going to be all economy, so you're not going to find any seats outside of that, but you do have some panels here on top and on the side and a little bit on the bottom there too. There's the Southwest Airlines billboard titles. As for the pink, it's crazy. This is like the only time I'll ever get to say this, but I can't criticize the color because it's a fantasy model. Therefore, there is no criticism to be had. But personally, I like the shade of pink. It's not too light, but it's also not too dark. So good job on NG for picking a good shade here to utilize on pink one. You can also see the beautiful LEB engines right here with the Southwest.com. So just imagine this being a normal livery. However, it's just pink instead of navy here on the front. So that's literally all it is as of to a difference. Here's the wing, as you can see, with the emergency exits and the beautiful flap slats and speed brakes along with the detail there. Kind of surprised they didn't make the top one yellow, but that's how it is, you know, so it's already fancy plane, so you think you want to put as much pink as possible, but you can see there in the corners, and then also right there you do have the pink shade, so that's how it's supposed to line up. I just thought it was interesting that they didn't put all the pink they could on it. You also got this antenna right here, pink Wi-Fi box. Don't think we're ever going to see that from Southwest, so very cool to get it right here, as you can tell. And then you have the back section, which finally gets into a little bit more of a transitional, or traditional Southwest livery here with the yellow, red, and then back to pink. It's just a really interesting contrast of colors. And then again, the fantasy registration November 8888 Quebec. Hopefully they don't end up using that one at some point. And then of course you got the L2 door along with the APU, the horizontal stabilizer detail, and all the other applicable features there. Take a look at the right side here. You got pink one. You do have the cargo doors, so those are still prominent even though this is a fantasy model. Top of the aircraft does look very good. It's just very different to have pink there, along with the engines, which are also pink as you would expect. So very interesting there. And then the bottom also looks really good. You got the Southwest heart, some really good detail on the bottom of the engine, the bottom two antennas, and all the rest of it. So a very unique model, definitely not one that you would expect, but I think they did a really good job on it, and definitely will be a great model for the fictional airports. So very cool concept, NG. We'll see if they do more of this in the future, but hopefully they'll prioritize the Airbus narrow bodies for the US collector because they know that we want that. So we'll just have to see, but nevertheless, not too bad there. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and get into the surprise models that my mom got me. So let's start right here with the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Salmon People livery. Now, it's time to address the elephant in the room before we go any farther. Yes, this was a massive unboxing number 40, I believe, when we had that big Black Friday order from Panda Fox Toys. But this is okay because this model was not in my collection when my mom bought these models also on Black Friday, and she noticed that I didn't have this aircraft, and I told her any aircraft I don't have would be fantastic. So obviously, she didn't know at the time that I was buying the NG, therefore she ended up getting the Gemini, which works out well because this is a cool one to have both of. It's a really complex livery, and every once in a while it's okay to have some duplicates of some specials, especially really good ones. Personally, I really like the Salmon People's livery, so this worked out well. So she did a really good job. It obviously is a very creative livery and would pop to a mother that's buying their son model aircraft. So personally, I really appreciate her efforts here. This is a very unique aircraft, and again, this will be an awesome asset to utilize at Great Plains, and I can rotate between Gemini and NG because the Gemini one's not bad. We just obviously have those mold defects that we've talked about for many years now, but we know the drill, so certainly very glad to have this, and she did a really good job picking a model that I didn't have at the time, so no criticism to be done. Again, kind of surprised she didn't stumble upon the NG, but she got the Gemini, so that will work. Here's GeminiJets logo, 25th anniversary. Here's the CGI Boeing 737-800, the Alaska titles. Again, this is a standard Gemini box. There's not too much to take a look at here besides those various characteristics. Here's the back of the box. This is a 2023 release. It does have the Alaska and Boeing trademark, so that's awesome. And then, of course, you can see in here, we have the top where you see the various pamphlet and the information inside there. So that looks really good in the model there inside. So again, really excited to have this aircraft. I think it will be a very cool one for the collection, and I'm eager to see what we have going with this aircraft. So let's go ahead and not waste any further time and go ahead and get into it. And there goes the left wing. Dang. Didn't even have to pull on it, it already came out. That's very unfortunate to say the least. Luckily, the paint chipping is marginal, so that's good news. Hopefully, there's no other parts of it broken, which there's not. It appears that just the left wing here came detached, and this is, you know, it's been better lately, so I'm not here to criticize, and luckily it's just an easy snap. I won't go over the full process again. We've talked about it many times at this point, but luckily, easy fix there. So we'll just go ahead and put that on the ground and take a look at the actual aircraft itself and assess what's going on with the Gemini Salmon People livery. Alrighty, y'all, and here we go for the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Salmon People livery. Really good looking aircraft right here. Very excited to have this. Certainly a little bit different compared to the NG, but certainly not a bad effort at all. Again, of course, we have that detached wing, but again, what can you do about it? Let's just go ahead, dive into the details, and see what we can find here with this aircraft. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So starting right here, we have the cockpit windows and then the nose cone. We know about the nose cone, so I won't go too far in depth on the nose cone, but it's what it is at this point, so there we go. And then here, I can't see what the title says, but I'm sure it says a pretty good remark there, so that's certainly nice to see. Nose landing gear, nose landing gear door. There's got to be an ETOPS somewhere around there. There's a bunch of writing not to be, so I'm assuming the ETOPS label somewhere in there as well. Then you got the L1 door, and then of course we got the mouth of the fish right here, so that's really cool to see. Then of course we got the eyelid right here as well. Then Alaska's going to have some first class, some premium economy, and then some normal economy, so that's certainly awesome to see. The big part of the fish is right here too, and then it goes down throughout, so that's nice to see. And again, it kind of just speaks for itself as to the detail of this livery, so you can kind of get a grasp yourself as to how that looks. So you can see the fish fully stretching throughout here on the aircraft all the way back to the tail here. You got this antenna, the two emergency wing exits. Unfortunately, the paint chip did end up being a little bit worse than what I thought. You can really see it right here, so it is what it is. What can you do about it? We're already past the return date. I'm sure it's within 30 days, and due to how I cycle my unboxing videos, we are well past that when she bought this. So what can you do about it? It is what it is. It's all right. It happens to the best of us. And then we have this antenna, and that's Wi-Fi box 2 right there. Some various shades of blue, the Alaska Airlines titles right here. Then you got the CFM56, yet another defect of this aircraft. However, I will say that this aircraft has some of the best wing flex, not having as much wing flex, I should say. I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it. The best wing angle I've seen from a Gemini 737 in a very long time, which is really encouraging. So let's go ahead. I'll just flip it around so you can really see. Is there still some flex? Yes, absolutely. Is it very reasonable? also yes, this is one of the better efforts I've seen in a long time in that department, so I praise GeminiJets for working on this aircraft to get it better, and you know, just gotta get it glued obviously, but as you can tell, it still looks pretty good. So let me show you the rest of the details here. If I can get the wing back in there. There we go. Okay, so as you can tell, you got the emergency wing exits there along with the flaps, slats, and speed brakes, which also look very good, so that's really nice to see. Here is the Scimitar winglet, so you can see the navy blue in the more ocean blue kind of color. I'm not sure what you would want to call that, but it looks very good right there as well. Here's the backside. You can see the main landing gear, which is also a little bit chunky, but it's not a huge issue relative to some of the other ones that this mold has. Again, Wi-Fi box, no antennas, more antennas back here, I should say. Just the one here in the middle, so that's quite nice. Again, that tail is really big. You can kind of see it from all angles, how it turns right there, so that's really nice to see. Then we get some more of that ocean blue color before we get the registration, which is, I believe, 559 Alpha Sierra, if I'm not mistaken. 559 Alpha Sierra, so that looks good right there. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's trying to focus on that back winglet. Let me see if I can get that fixed there. There we go. And that looks really nice. Then you got the second fish that starts here. As you can see, it is a much smaller one, and the eye starts there on the L2 door before you transition all the way back through. It has some weird components to it too, so that's certainly very interesting. But you also got the horizontal stabilizers and the APU detail, so on and so forth. So all that does look very good. Let me set this wing back on, and we'll take a look here at the right side of the aircraft. So taking a look at the right side, the fish seems a little bit bigger on this side, so that's certainly nice to see. So you can see those various components to it. Again, nose landing gear door is also a little chunky too, but we won't get too far into that, of course. Also looks really good on this side, not too many other differences, although it all looks really good, so that's awesome to see. Top of the aircraft looks really good. You can see some various details along with the Wi-Fi box, which also is loose as well. So this box must have got thrown in shipping, unfortunately, to have that many defects. So there we go for that. And then the bottom, got the stand hole, the fish body connecting underneath, GeminiJets logo, all the various pieces. It looks really good. So very nice model right here. They did a really good job. Yes, it came broken, but what can you do about it? So I'll go ahead and get that glued at some point and get that fixed, but definitely expect to see this in many airport update videos to come in the future. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the next surprise model, and I'm very, very happy about this one. This is the NG Models 1:400 scale Air Canada Jazz CRJ-200 with the red livery. So very excited to have this aircraft. I don't know how she even stumbled upon this one, but I told her if you want to get a 1-200, go ahead, and she picked an affordable 1-200. How surprising is that? So this is my first ever NG CRJ-200. I do have a Gulfstream from NG 1-200. So not quite my first NG 1-200, although I'm excited to expand upon my NG 1-200 fleet with their debut of the new narrow body mold 737, 757s, and obviously all the great work that they've already done. So this will be a great addition. I don't have an Air Canada Jazz aircraft either. I used to, but I don't have one at this time. So this will be a great addition to the collection. I'm very excited to have this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this aircraft. Bombarier CRJ-200ER. Here's the 1-200 titles right here. Here's the Air Canada Jazz CGI itself. You got the maple leaf back there, Air Canada Jazz registrations, Charlie Foxtrot, India Golf Alpha. I was fortunate enough to get to see a couple of these as well, so that was really cool too. Also be eager to see, I'm not sure when this aircraft was released, but I'm pretty sure the CRP cards were coming with the aircraft by this point. I think it was like maybe a year ago or so. So nevertheless, I'm really excited for it. Hopefully it has a CRP card because we love those, but nevertheless, very, very, very tight box. Well, it has tape on it, so of course it is, so it must still have tape on it from the wrapping. So let's try it from the other side. There we go. CRP card, CRP card. Yes, CRP card, very nice. This was from March of 2023, so I'm assuming this got released sometime maybe in May or June of 2023, maybe? I'm not sure, but anyways, let's see if it can, the exposure can fix itself. I don't know why it got so out of whack. There we go. So you can see here the beautiful NG 1-200 mold. Again, my first CRJ-200, and this is my first 1-200 CRJ-200 as well. So this is a really, really good looker. And take a look at that detail. The Air Canada CRJ-200 1-200 scale. Alrighty everybody, and here we go for the NG Models 1-200 scale Air Canada Jazz CRJ-200ER in the red livery. Very cool to see this. I did get to see a couple of these in real life before they got repainted, so this is a really cool aircraft and it looks really, really nice. So despite the simplicity of it, I think it will be a great addition to the collection. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and see if that's the case with the model. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So as you can see right here, you got the nose cone, which is a very nice shape. They did a really good job on this, so absolutely outstanding effort. Along with the nose cone, some various panels here, and this might say operated by the subsidiary, I'm not sure, but there's some titles right there. You do have a piece on top here that I'll show you here in a minute too. Nose landing gear door, whatever is there of it, so that looks really good. Then you got the Star Alliance logo along with the L1 door, which can open onto the ground or open into a gate, obviously. And then you got the big jazz titles, so it's kind of like a highlighter almost. So you got the J, and it swooshes into the A, which is ZZ after that, so that looks really good. All economy on the CRT200, as we know, so we're not going to be finding any first class seats here, so this just starts economy right here. You got the antennas right here, so you start with this one, and then you bounce down to the bottom, followed by the third one up there in the top middle area, so that looks really good. And then as you can see for the rest of the fuselage here, you got the emergency exit. I think you got like 13 windows or somewhere around that number here on the side, so that's quite nice to see. You have a leading edge light right there. It's very prominent, so definitely take a look at that, along with the engines right there too, so you can kind of see that. You can also see that top piece I was talking about right there, so that's really nice. I think it's a hatch for the cockpit or equivalent, so that's quite nice to see. Again, you have the wing right here, which looks really good. So you get the various pieces on there for some panels and whatnot. Again, emergency exit arrow is really cool right there, as you can see. So that looks really nice. You got the winglet right there, which is nice too. So of course you got almost looks like orange, but it is supposed to be red. So that looks really nice. I think it just all depends on lighting and whatnot. So it's quite nice. Then you got the cargo door here on the left side, which is really unique. Here are the engines, really good casting on the mold right there. So here's kind of just some sideways looks at that. So that looks really good too. A couple more panels before you get into the registration. A Charlie Foxtrot, India, Juliet Alpha. So that looks really good too. Then you have the maple leaf back here with the red color. Looks really nice. They had an orange, a green, and a red. So those were really cool to look at. They also had a yellow, I believe, too. So very cool to see all the various colors they had. There is the horizontal stabilizers too, which do look really good. And taking a look at the right side of this aircraft, you got some other really good details, including the R1 door, which is really small. The Star Alliance logo, again, another emergency exit, and not really any windows here. I believe this is where the galley and lav are, so that's very nice. And again, the wing, very good detail. You can kind of see the various components of it, and there's the main landing gear too. We'll take a little bit more of a look at that here momentarily. Let's go ahead and zoom out, and we'll take a look at the top of the aircraft, which also looks very good, as you can see right there with the various details. So that's very nice. Really good speed brake detail as well, I should add. So that's really nice. Let me see if I can flip it over to the bottom. You can see the stand hole along with some more various panel detail and all that applicable all the applicable features of it. You can also see the indentation there for the main landing gear roots as well, or whatever the correct name for that would be. So very cool model. Thank you so much, Mom, for the surprise model. She did a fantastic job on them once again, and considering that she has no clue with regards to what I usually collect, do and don't, you know, she comes up here, so she sees what kind of models I have, but it's just like, okay, a bunch of American, some United, some Delta, you know, it's tough to like, that's 737, that's an A319, you know, she doesn't know those details, of course, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. So as a result, we can only do so much, but she did a really, really great job. So very happy with her effort there, and ultimately, I'm really pleased with how she did right there. So that's absolutely fantastic, to say the very least. Let's go ahead and jump into a house model, because this one's really cool, and we're going to be taking a look here at a corporate Airbus A350-1000. So really cool model right here I got from very good friends, so I very much appreciate him giving this to me, as I did offer to pay for it, but he had several extras, so he just offered to give me one, which was really nice. So again, this is some sort of corporate model. I really have no information on it. I don't know what the brand is. I'll show you around, so if anybody can find it, that would be greatly appreciated. But to my knowledge, this is some sort of corporate Airbus A350-1000. So very excited to have this. So box is really basic, but does look really clean. Airbus A350-1000. Here's the actual aircraft itself, 1-400 model Airbus. Box got a little tore up because my carry-on was so full when I got this, so I had to just pretty much stuff it in there. So also don't worry, that should be a stand that's currently clinking around inside. If you hear that, got significant box damage right there, unfortunately, but we did make it home with that. It is an officially licensed product. Here's some information on the side. I'm thinking it might be AFOS somewhere in there is maybe what it relates to, so that looks good. Airbus trademarks, all that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Again, what you hear clanking around is a stand, so let's go ahead and get that out so you can don't have to hear that anymore if you can hear it. So here it is. You have this plastic piece along with a 2-bogey piece to go on top, where it has a 1-piece connector, and then here's the actual Airbus 350-1000 itself. So let's go ahead and take a more detailed look at this aircraft. No landing gear, but it does look really good, and ultimately it is a great addition to the collection. So take a look at that. Absolutely fantastic aircraft. Let me get on the stand and we'll take a more detailed look at this particular model. Alrighty, you all, here we have this corporate Airbus A350-1000. Really cool model right here. It looks really, really nice. It's some sort of really good, it might just actually be like a metal or some sort of material. It's really, really nice. And again, no landing gear, of course, but this is my first Airbus 350-1000 XWB to my knowledge. So this is going to be a really cool model to have, and I'm really excited to see what this is all about. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into details. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So as you can see, you got the cockpit windows right here, which look really nice, so that's awesome to see. Then you got the nose cone right here, and then you got the L1 door. Again, this is a corporate model, so there's not going to be crazy panel detail and whatnot, and again, that's not a problem. This is exactly what you would expect. Then you got this L1 door right here, along with where your first class would be, and then of course, other airlines are going to have business, premium economy, normal economy, so all those various products that you'd expect on an aircraft like this. Here is the Airbus light blue logo right here, and then you get the dark blue for the Airbus 3 or the A350-1000 titles. You also have the XWB, which is really cool. I don't have any XWBs, so I'm excited to get my first one here, and hopefully many more to come here in the future. Then you got the L2 door right there, which is very nice. So that looks really good. Let me go ahead and scoot this over. I didn't realize. I keep forgetting that's on stand. So the actual sun's in a different spot compared to where it is relative to the tables. So that looks very good. Here's the wing root. You can see the line going straight across. So that's very nice. Then you also have the engine right here, which looks really, really good. Very, very nice design. The fan blades, of course, aren't going to be the most detailed, but very similar to the panel detail. We're not expecting NG superior work here, so certainly a really good job, though, to get the proportions right and all the other details. What I am really impressed by is they do have that little wing flex right there going down, which is supposed to be there like it's on the ground configuration, so that's kind of interesting, although you can see it in flight with that wing slant. Sometimes just depends. I have not thrown an A350 yet, so I hope to in the future sometime. You can see the slat detail right there, and then of course you got the flaps right there and the wing, which looks really nice. Then you also have the sharklet, which looks really good in that navy blue color. It does say I think it says A350 XWB on it, or equivalent. Kind of tough to see from here, but maybe you all can get a little bit better view and report back to me what it says. So that looks really good. There's the L3 door right there. Again, just passenger windows, not any crazy detail outside the 350 titles, but that's fine. Simple is good, so I'm not going to complain with that. You also have all these windows before you reach the L4 door, and you have the gorgeous, exactly what I think about when I think of Airbus A350 titles there, and then you have that beautiful circle design with the turquoise, white, ocean blue, whatever color, and then of course the navy as the primary color. So that looks really nice, and I love the design of that, and also a little etch of the white there on the tail to go with it. So that looks really good too. And here's the horizontal stabilizer. Of course, not too much crazy detail, but you do have the elevators. That's really cool to see. You also have a little rudder detail there on the tail as well. Bottom also looks really good. They did a good job there, so that's nice to see. You do have a little bit of fuselage detail around the horizontal stabilizer, so that's quite nice too. Go ahead and take a look at the right side here. You do have a cargo door, so that's impressive to see them add that considering the situation with this model. So I'm really impressed to see that, to be quite honest. Let me see if I can get the focus. There we go. So that looks really nice right there. So certainly very glad to get to see that tremendous detail right there. And you can see it throughout the rest of the fuselage here, the engines, which also do have the engine logo on them. So that's really good. I think they're Rolls-Royce. It looks like RR. Yeah, just making sure. That's what I was thinking, just wanted to verify those findings. You can also see the back cargo door too, and ultimately it looks really good. We will have a couple of cirrus clouds, but luckily they're pretty small, so don't worry, we're not losing light. It's just the fact that we do have some cirrus clouds that we'll have to work with. Again, really good speed brake detail on this one too, along with slat detail. You can kind of see that throughout the right there, so that's awesome. Make sure you can see the full aircraft here before I raise it up. Bottom also looks really good. You do have Airbus A350-1000 engraved on the bottom of that, so let me go ahead and take this off so you can really get a good view of that. So ultimately it looks really good, and that's really nice to see. So really cool model. You also have the nose landing gear door, however no main gear doors, which is kind of interesting, but what can you do? It's a really good model. So very glad to have this. This is an absolutely awesome asset. My fourth house model behind a 777, 787, and 737 MAX 9. I might have another one somewhere, but those are what come to mind. So I think it's my first Airbus one. So that's really cool to see. And again, this will be a really cool asset for many years to come. All right, let's go ahead and move into a trade that I did with Mr. Plane Spotter DK. That's made plenty of cameos in the live streams and other forms of content, so definitely check out all the videos that he's in. So thank you for doing this trade. I traded my Gemini 1-400 American Airlines A319, the Allegheny livery, which I wanted to keep, and I kept so long because I was hoping that I would be able to get every single GeminiJets new livery American Airlines aircraft, but after all the duplicates and after what NG's done, I just decided to toss that idea. I'll still get as many as I can, but it's not not worth the financial investment to do that. It just doesn't make sense, even though it is a cool remark that you get to talk about with your collection. It's just not worth the money. So I decided to trade that one, which I was holding on just for that reason, because I had the new American livery on the box, which is the only reason I had it, which is kind of interesting. For this, GeminiJets 1:400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800, and this is the 2009 release, I believe, 2008 release. So this is a really cool model. I have plenty of these. I'm probably going to end up selling. I really like my 2015, but I'll probably end up selling it since we got, I have this now, which this does have the old mold on it, so it's really nice. There's no problems with the 2015. It actually is really nice Delta underbelly and whatnot. It's just that this mold's a little bit better, and this is really what he had to trade. He didn't have many that he wanted to trade. He just had a couple of duplicates that he ended up getting, so that's why we have this right here. So anyways, it still looks good. We'll go ahead and take a look at the aircraft. So you have the GeminiJets logo right here in all white, which is nice, made for collectors by collectors. You have the CGI, but it does have Boeing 737-800 labeled under it. You did see a little bit more of this before 2010, so that's cool to see. Make sure that the box is focused all the way. There's the Delta widget over there too. You got the Delta logo, Sky Team. You get the look inside, which it's kind of been slanted. I don't know if that was physical damage or just how it ended up happening. But anyways, here's the sides of the box. Made in China is in yellow, which is an interesting remark. And then the back of the box again, this is a 2008 release. So good aircraft. They haven't changed too much about the concept of the box, just the layout, small details since then. Here's the pamphlet, which has the information, so feel free to check that out if you want. And here's the aircraft inside. Looks like the cradle is yellowed a little bit, but I have so many models that have had that problem that I'm not too worried about that at this point in time, luckily. But this is a really cool aircraft. Again, he told me it was in good condition, so let's put it to the test and see if it is. And to my knowledge, it is. It looks like it's got all the tires, paints in good shape, so this looks really great. So very nice. Alrighty, everybody, and here we have the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800, and this is in the 2008 release set. So very excited to have this one. This looks really good. I like the simplicity, so that aspect's nice, and it even has a little Wi-Fi box for us. How cool is that? So without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at this, guys. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So as you can see, we got the cockpit windows right here, along with the nose cone. It's a little chunky, but certainly not bad, and certainly a massive improvement compared to what they have in 2024, so no problems there. Then you also have the nose landing gear and nose landing gear door. This does have the older tires on it, like all the other components of the old mold. So that looks really good. And the nose landing gear door also is the correct size. So that's awesome to see. Here's the Sky Team logo, which is nice and big. We'd love to see that. Along with the L1 door, you get the Delta Airlines billboard titles that look pretty good here. So a good effort. Then of course you would have their first class, Delta Comfort Plus, and main cabin. So that's very nice to see. Before we take it into this area where we have more main cabin, pretty standard fuselage. You do have the navy underneath there, and I'll tilt it up so you can see what I'm talking about. There it is, and it does swoop a little bit. They had a slight revision like in the early 2010s, I believe, that made it just flat lines. So this one, you know, it's obviously slightly inaccurate, and these don't technically fly anymore, but that's not a huge problem for what I'm doing here, as nobody's going to notice. So that's awesome. Anyway, you got the beacon up there along with some various pieces. Then you got the emergency exits right there, which is awesome. An adequately sized CFM56, so that's really nice to see, and how level it is, and all of the various components of it. So that's really nice to see. Here's the main wing there. You got the emergency exits along with the flap slot, the speed brakes. You also have the winglet, which is a very nice size, and I still, in my opinion, think that this is the best winglet that GeminiJets has done on the 737, so we'll see if they're able to continue to enhance it or not. But the NG1's pretty good, so definitely better than their current mold, because it's kind of a weird slope and it's a little big. So it's not bad, just what it is. Here's the main landing gear, which look really good. They are tilted, which is a cool component of the old mold, so that's certainly cool to see, along with the other various pieces of it, and we'll get a better look here at that in a moment. Again, there's the stubby Wi-Fi box, or whatever box you like to call it, so that was certainly interesting that they started with boxes before they went on to antennas later down the road. You can see all the rest of the main cabin there before we get to the US flag and the registration November 3744 Foxtrot. L2 door, followed by the Delta Airlines widget, which looks really good. Again, I think they've had some slight color revisions on that since the previous, since this release, but again, very neglectable. You also have the horizontal stabilizers, which also look very good there too. Right side of the aircraft, very similar, but you do have the luggage door, and you have the second one, which is extremely prominent. Then you got the top of the aircraft that looks really good with some various characteristics, so that's certainly very nice to see. In the bottom of the aircraft also looks really good. You do have the colored GeminiJets logo, which is quite interesting for having a white box on it, so transitional model there. And you get the bottom of the engines that also have some good detail for time. You also have the tail stubber piece so that it doesn't bang up the bottom of your model. Very good aircraft, good job Gemini, very cool. Great trade here with Plane Spotter DK, and certainly very glad to have this model. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some models that I got from the LAX Airline Collectibles show from January 20th, 2024. So that will have its own video, so stay on the lookout for that. But due to the distributing this adequately, I thought I'd keep the 1 to 400s together and to keep this mass unboxing fluid. So that's what we have right here. So this next two models or this model and the next one are a trade with Aviation LES that I did. So you're seeing right here, we have the Skyjets 1 to 400 scale. This is the, I think it's Aeromexico DC-8. I believe that's what this is. So a very unique one. It kind of stood out to me, so that's why I chose to trade it with him. So that's what we have here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this box. So we have this 10 box, which is pretty unique. Then you have the Skyjets 400 logo right here, Skyjets collection, and then you have their website right there, which is skyjets400.com, and no other characteristics to the box besides the fact that it does have some sort of magnet on the bottom, which I have no idea why, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. It's a very tight fit, so it's going to be kind of tough to get off, so you'll see. I have to take out this foam, which is protecting it really well. And then the model's in here, so let me see if I can get it out. It takes quite the effort since it's so tall. And here it is. And again, I believe this is Aeromexico, although I could be wrong. So, yeah, I think it's Aeromexico. Could be wrong, though. But nevertheless, it is some sort of Mexico DC-8. So very excited to have this. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alrighty everybody, here we have this, I believe it's Aeromexico, doubles DC-8 and maybe like a 21. I'm not exactly sure what variant it is. It's certainly in the lower numbers there. So very excited to have this aircraft. This is a very cool one for the collection, and thank you Aviation LES for doing this trade. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So here's the nose cone right here, and then you get some gray and polish, some sort of logo right here. It looks really good, and then you got some panels up here as well. So that certainly looks fantastic. Just bringing it in just a little bit so it gets centered a little bit better. More panels down here, and nose landing gear with the nose landing gear door. That looks really nice. Again, very unique model. I don't know whose mold this actually is, but certainly solid. Of course, no aerials, but that's perfectly fine. Here's the L1 door along with the orange stripe and then the white top right here. So that looks very nice. One window right there, and again, very short. I don't know how the passenger classes worked on this, whether at first class or just economy or what it was. So you can see that there. Then you have this Aeronaves del Mexico, which I think is Aeromexico at this time. Again, could be wrong, but nevertheless looks good. So nice to see that along with the various windows. No overwing exits for this aircraft, of course, but you do have the really cool DC-8 engines. Very small. So again, this is one of the first iterations of the DC-8, but you can see the end pieces there. That's really nice, and how big this connecting piece is. So that's certainly interesting to see. So take a little look at that. Then you have the orange wingtips that also look very nice. Then you have the windows throughout here that also look awesome, so that's certainly very nice to see. Really glad to see that. And again, one-piece mold, they did a good job on it, so you can't see too much of the breakup, so that's pretty awesome. And then, of course, we get to the L2 door, and then we get to the registration of X-Ray Alpha, X-Ray Alpha, X-Ray Alpha, X-Ray. I believe that's what it is. Sorry, it's a little complex, but you can see it there. It looks really good. Then, of course, you have the horizontal stabilizer, which is also on one piece, so you see this line, it connects it. I'll show you a little bit better once you look at the undercarriage. Then we have the tail, which is very unique. So here is the logo, and then you got some text over here which says the name of the airline, which is really cool. Then you got the top here, which also has orange on it, which is very unique. The cheat line goes all the way to the back, which is really cool, and you also have the horizontal stabilizers down there, which also look really good. So that's certainly very nice to see, and also a very unique silver line right there. Not exactly sure what that is, but it looks really cool. Right side also looks good. Yeah, the R1 door, which is really interesting there, like halfway down, so definitely didn't expect that, but that looks really cool. Also appears you have some text right there, which is nice. Sorry, that's getting dark. I'll just get it back here for the next model. Then you can see the engines and all the various details. Again, very unique design here, and the tilt and all that. Very interesting observations. Here's the back as well. Top of the aircraft looks really good. You got the Aeronaves on the top left and the registration on the right, and the speed brakes. The registration is validated, by the way. Oh, this is a GeminiJets. Take a look at that. It has GeminiJets logo on it. So there it is. One of 1,000 pieces. Yes, this was a 1,000-piece model. Very interesting. So this must have been done with Skyjets in correspondence. So very interesting. So technically, this is a GeminiJets mold. So this was definitely done many years ago, but a really cool model to have. Very unique. I bet he got it at the airplane shop, really discounted or equivalent. So very cool model I have. This is a really cool one. Thank you Aviation LES, and let's take a look at the next one that I traded with him. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at this next one as we have the GeminiJets 1:400 scale National Airlines doubles DC-871 freighters. So how the heck am I getting all these DC-8s lately? I don't know, but nevertheless, another cool one. The Aviation LAS one to trade, and this is a very cool aircraft. I don't know if this made any appearances at Tulsa or not, but I'll probably still throw it in there anyway because I'm sure an equivalent aircraft did at some point. So definitely can find use for this, and why not? Because it looks really good and getting that national collection built up a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box and see what's all about. So we have the GeminiJets colored logo, so I'm thinking it's like probably 2012, 13, 14, somewhere in there. CGI of the aircraft, here's the National Airlines logo, McDonnell doubles DC-871 freighter, 1:400 scale, all that you would expect. Again, this box is also a little banged up because I had to put it in my backpack this time coming back from the LAX collectible show. I went on basic economy, got a bunch of models, and wanted to get them all home, so I did sacrifice a little bit of damage, although I do think there's already, the folding was already there here, but I think like this bottom here, I'm thinking that's on the backpack. Indeed, a 2011 release for this aircraft, and ultimately it looks really good. Here's the back of the pamphlet rather, it looks really good. And then we have the inside of the box right here. Alrighty guys, we're not going to waste any further time and go ahead and get into this aircraft. And there she is, the National DC-8, looking absolutely fantastic. Also with the rolling landing gear, so the same mold that we got on the UPS DC-8 in the last massive unboxing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're all missing a tire as well. I was not informed about that, so oh well, it's okay. Alrighty everybody, here we have the GeminiJets 1:400 scale National Airlines doubles DC-871 freighter. Very excited to have this aircraft. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I think this will be an awesome asset for the collection. And again, really cool model here that Aviation LAS won the trade. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at this model. Alrighty everybody, starting up here we have the cockpit windows along with some more good detail. This DC-8 also has this nudge right here, so I think it's actually supposed to be there, so that's really cool to see right there. Then we have this L1 door along with some more panels, nose landing gear door. The landing gear do roll on this aircraft, which is super cool, and this is one of the first molds that had rolling landing gear on it, so that's really awesome to see. Here's the cargo bin door, and then you got this blue diamond shape, or whatever you'd like to call that, along with the National Airlines title, so Nationals in blue. Airlines is also in blue, but it's not bolded, so certainly makes it look like it's almost gray, but no, it is blue, trust me. So that looks really good there too. Got some other various panel detail and whatnot too, so very cool with this aircraft. I hope that someday I can get inside the cargo aircraft. You actually see it a little bit, so maybe, just maybe, somehow we get an airliners tour at a cargo facility. We'll have to see, but nevertheless, still really cool to see that. Anyways, you can see the main fuselage here with the two blue stripes, so that's awesome to see, along with the beautiful engines right there that look really good. They do tilt up a little bit. I noticed a similar issue on the UPS, but again, it's not a huge issue, just an observation. Again, the main landing gear look really good. We'll take a better look at that here in a moment, along with the wing with the flaps, slats, and speed brake detail. That's very nice to see. And then, actually, no flap, or you got some flap detail there, so just making sure. Alright, so here's the back of the aircraft, and it appears to be, we have a slight paint smudge. I was also unaware about that, but again, not a huge issue. So just an observation there. You get the two blue lines, which start up, then come down, and then make room for "We Delivered the World" titles, along with the registration, which is 8725 Juliet. The blue also comes all the way up, and then we got the three breaking off blue lines, so that's really cool to see. The top line breaks into two, so I had to figure that out myself, so that's really cool to see. Horizontal stabilizers also look really good, along with the tail piece and all the other detail back there. Right side of the aircraft also looks very good. You got marginal detail back here. Besides a couple of cargo doors, there's a really small one, and then if I scoot it up, you got two back here as well, so it's really cool. You also have a tail piece there, so that's also very nice to see. Top of the aircraft looks really good. We got some really good detail there, and ultimately it looks nice. And the bottom also looks good. Again, we are missing a landing gear, but we do have a stand hole in the older GeminiJets logo. So very cool aircraft. Thank you, Aviation LAS, for wanting to trade it. This is a really cool one, and excited to use it in the collection going forward. Alrighty everybody, so next two models you actually didn't see on the table to begin the video. These two I actually wanted to see if I had enough time to unbox in this video, which we are going to have enough, so why don't I talk about them. These two come from ROC Aviation, Gavin on Instagram, so definitely go check him out. He takes some really cool pictures, and he does come to Airlines International too, so we'll be excited to see him back there. But got a really good deal on these and wanted to support what he was doing, and I wanted some equivalent of this one, and then the next one I've wanted for a long time, so it ended up working out really well. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So our first model here is going to be a not a new international carrier for my collection. However, it is a aircraft that I've needed an equivalent of, and I'll talk about that here more in a moment. We have the GeminiJets, 1-400 scale Aer Lingus Airbus A330-300 by GeminiJets. So I've wanted Aer Lingus wide body for Great Plains, and ended up working out this time. My mom surprised me with the Airbus A321neo, which has been a powerful asset and has certainly worked. But this opportunity came up, and again, I've wanted a wide body. I do have Irish heritage myself, so how can I not represent an Aer Lingus wide body? It's not the prettiest mold in the world, and I think there is a little bit of wing flex, but again, got a good price on it, so it certainly does the job in this particular circumstance. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box. So kind of hard to see, but you got GeminiJets, Aer Lingus, a little dent right there, but it's all right. Various sizes of the box look really good. And you got the back of the box. This is a 2019 release, and we'll take a look here. I think it has some slight damage under the aircraft, but there's the pamphlet. I'll try to bring it into the light, so if you want to read it, you can. And here's the aircraft itself. Again, I believe it's some slight damage. We'll figure it out when we get there, but again, very neglectable for sure, and not a problem here. So let's not waste any further time and just go ahead and take a look at this model. Let me see if I can get it out here, and that is looking very, very good. So let me see if I can find damage, and I'll point it out when we're working on it. Alrighty, everybody, and here we have the GeminiJets 1-400 scale Aer Lingus Airbus A330-300 in the new livery. Very excited to have this aircraft. It's a really cool one. Maybe at some point I get an old livery 200, but again, my primary goals with the collection right now is to continue to expand diversity. So that means new international airlines, new cargo aircraft, new types of aircraft, so on and so forth. So this will probably be sufficient for the moment. However, again, a great deal on it. Not going to pass it up, and I don't believe it has any damage. I think it's the Lufthansa. Dang it, I haven't shown it on the camera yet. That's your hint for what it is. It has any damage on it. So anyway, it looks great. Sorry for busting myself, but let's just go ahead and see what we got here with this model. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So here's the cockpit windows right here, along with the nose cone that looks really good. Then you get the nose landing gear, a little chunky, but again, this is the 330 mold at its finest for Gemini, so not a massive problem. Hopefully, they'll start using a better one in the future. L1 door, some sort of city name right here, and then you got Airbus A330-300, just the logo with the A330-300. You get the Aer Lingus titles right here. Here's the antenna. Then you're gonna have your first class, which I hear is pretty solid. So I think Jeb has done some Aer Lingus videos, so I need to go check out his offerings on that. A little bit of business class before premium economy, economy plus, and normal economy. So that's awesome. L2 door here as well. Then you get the wing root, which is pretty good. The wing flex isn't too bad, to be honest. So that's certainly exciting. Again, this was a 2019 offering, so certainly wasn't in the peak of GeminiJets' effort, we'll say that. Really cool turquoise type color, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure exactly what the correct phrasing is, but some sort of turquoise, I would say. And the landing gear, which also look pretty good, so that's really nice to see. You get the main wing there, which also has some good detail on it, so that's awesome to see. Along with the beautiful winglet, so you can see the blue right there, and then you can see the beautiful 3-leaf clover on the opposite side, so that's awesome to see. Then here in the middle, you got the L3 door. Make sure that we get that focus there so you all can see what I'm talking about. L3 door in the rest of the economy section before you have the registration of Echo India Echo Delta Yankee, so that's nice to see. Get a lighter green before getting back into that turquoise color for the L4 door, and then finish off here with a beautiful 3-leaf clover. Of course, I'm sure it's more economical to keep the plane light white rather than keep it in the green color that they used to have, but they still have quite a few aircraft in their old livery flying around, so that's quite nice. Horizontal stabilizer, APU, all the great detail back there, and you also have 2 antennas there on the back to round it out. Right side, you're going to have those big cargo doors, so there is one of them right there, and you're also going to have the second one right there too. Top of the aircraft looks really nice. You got some nice detail there, so that's certainly very nice to see with the beacon, some panel detail, and where Wi-Fi box is or went, whatever the case was with this model. Bottom also looks really good. You got some air inlets. He might have been talking about it. There's some slight chipping right here. I'm assuming this was probably glued. It kind of looks like that. Let me see if I can kind of zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. You can kind of see a little deficiency there, but again, very, very, very neglectable at that. So I barely even noticed it. So that's certainly very nice. And again, a little bit there on the top right, but not very noticeable unless you're literally just looking for it. So looks really good. Again, not too not bad on the wing flex at all. You can see a little bit, but again, if you're not thinking about it, it's not going to come up. So that's certainly very nice. So overall, really good model here. Very glad to have this one. And let's go ahead and take a look at the second one that I'm also very excited about. And ladies and gentlemen, that model is going to be the GeminiJets 1-400 scale Lufthansa Airlines Airbus A350-900 in the new livery. So first off, really good deal on this aircraft as well, and I think it has some slight damage. Again, not too bad though. But the other reason for this aircraft was I've seen so many of these, especially at Chicago for Airlines International 2022. That's really where it all started. But I've seen them throughout at various airports around the United States, and I just thought that was too good of an aircraft not to get if I could. I thought about it very, very, very hard when GeminiJets and NG both did theirs. Ended up passing on it because I already have, this is going to be number 4 in my Lufthansa fleet, but I already had 3, and unfortunately, you're about to see another one next, but you'll see why. It really makes sense. But again, really good deal on this one for the sentimental value. Lufthansa is just continuing to get assets in my collection, so good job, Lufthansa, for finding a way into the collection every single time. But nevertheless, let's just go ahead and take a look at the box. You have your standard gray and navy design here for them. It's tough to see, but you do have the Gemini logo up there. You do have the gray background, and then the Lufthansa titles, Airbus A350-900, all the rest, it all looks really good. Take a look at the sides of the box. And then in the back, we have 2023 right there. Also looks really good. So that's certainly fantastic right there. And let's go ahead and take a look at the pamphlet, of course. What am I thinking? Here's the pamphlet right there. Go ahead and pause the read if you want. I really can't get in the light, so I apologize. But nevertheless, you know what I'm talking about. And then here is the aircraft itself. Just some slight damage. It's not too bad from my understanding. So let's just go ahead and take a look. Very, very nice right there. That looks absolutely fantastic. Take a look at that. Alrighty, everybody, and here we have this GeminiJets 1:400 scale Lufthansa Airlines Airbus A350-900 in the new livery. Very excited to have this aircraft after all the special memories, so certainly a very special one to me, and it looks really good, and I was able to fix its slight defects with a very, very easy push, so very excited to have this aircraft. It looks absolutely awesome. Let's just go ahead and get into it and see what it's all about, guys. Alrighty, guys, so let's just go ahead and take a look at this aircraft. So as you can see right here, we got the cockpit windows along with the nose cone that looks really good right here. Nose landing gear and nose landing gear door has a little slant to it, so that's certainly very nice. And then, of course, you got the Star Alliance logo, you got the L1 door and the Lufthansa titles right here that look really nice. And then you got Airbus A350-900 and one of the city names right here too, so that's certainly very cool to see. You got the various panels along with the first antenna right here. Then you got the L2 door that also looks absolutely fantastic. Moving over to the wing, you can see the various details. You're going to have your first class up here for the passengers, then you're going to have business and economy plus into economy, premium economy somewhere in there too, so certainly very nice. Then you have the wing, which has some awesome detail on the flaps, slats, and speed brakes. Then you have the engine right here, which looks very good too. Take a look at those fan blades. It's absolutely fantastic. Then you have the winglet or sharklet right here rather. This was slightly bent up, so I just bent it back in the place where it's exactly supposed to be. If you are going to bend parts of your models, I highly recommend the biggest key is to go slow, which I know it seems like common sense, but seriously, go slow and you will be able to adequately put it back in place. Just be very careful, and if you feel any sort of weird tension, just stop touching it and just reevaluate to see what the problem is. That's my recommendation. But again, this was just one really simple push coming towards going this way because it was a little too high, and it easily fixed itself. So just got to be very careful with it, because when it does end up bending the first time, which is when it kind of gets damaged, if that makes sense, it loses a little bit of tension. So it still has tension there to bend it back, but you just have to be very careful. And as you can see, that was successfully executed. There is a little dent on the top. I'm assuming he probably just nudged on table or an equivalent problem happened, but it's certainly not a problem at all. Top of the wing looks really good. There's the main landing gear, which also look absolutely fantastic. Here's the L3 door that looks really good, along with the first antenna. Then you got the Wi-Fi box and the second antenna, along with the registration Delta Alpha X-Ray India Papa. The Germany flag. I can't see what the second one is from here. Let me make sure I get that focused so you all can see that really good. I don't know if that's a baggage door, what exactly that is, but it looks good. You got the L4 door at this point, and there's the beautiful tail, horizontal stabilizers, APU. Again, really great detail, and it looks really, really nice. Right side of the aircraft is also really cool, where you have that Lufthansa logo again, Star Alliance, Airbus A350, and then the cargo bay doors are the main differences here. Again, you got all the antennas, the Wi-Fi boxes, they all look really good, and they did a really good job. Also, take a look at those engines. They're just super, super nice. Top of the aircraft looks very good, as you can see right here with the various details, so that's awesome to see. In the bottom, really good detail on those main landing gear doors especially, but also on the various components. GeminiJets logo, stand hole, all that you would want. This looks really good. So overall, really good effort. Very glad to have this model, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, everybody, last and certainly not least, one more very special model. This one's probably even more special for the reasons that I'll list, although both these are really, really awesome. So right here, we have the Phoenix models, 1:400 scale, Lufthansa Airlines Airbus A340-300 Indy Star Alliance livery. So very excited to have this aircraft. This is a really good one. I've seen it so many different times, Star Alliance livery that is, at Dallas, Denver, what other airports? The Lufthansa A340 in general, but I've seen the Star Alliance like 5 or 6 times. It's been absolutely crazy. I think Dallas like 4 times. It's been absolutely crazy, and twice at Denver. So it was just too good not to get. So want to give a huge thank you to my guy in San Jose, California, for selling this to me at the LEX collectible show. It was super, super fun. I believe his name's Mike. I'm pretty sure. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry. But nevertheless, huge shout out to him. Absolutely awesome guy. He will be at Airliners as well. So looking very forward to seeing him there. But nevertheless, got a very fair price on this model, and I really wanted it, and I needed to at least get one legit 1-400 model, because I did get the trade from Aviation LAS, but one that I spent my own money on, if that makes sense. So that is what this aircraft is right here. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the box. Yes, this is also my 5th Lufthansa aircraft in my collection now, but it's just tough. What can I say? But now I have two A340s, a 789, a 350, and 330, and a 787. So what can I do about it? Nevertheless, the box is really cool. So you kind of got this. I'm thinking this is probably some sort of maybe Capitol building in Germany or equivalent. Airbus A340-300 Star Alliance, Delta Alpha India Golf Charlie is the registration. JC Wings also did this recently, but theirs ended up selling out really quick. So this is just one that I found, and it ends up working out for the collection here. So again, really excited to have this. It's going to be an absolute asset for this collection, and just take a look at that, guys. The Lufthansa A340-300 Star Alliance by Phoenix. And this mold is really good. This actually might be my first 340 by Phoenix, so it's a really great delight to have this aircraft, and it's going to be an absolute talent show. So let's just go ahead and look at it, guys. Alrighty, everybody, and here we have the Phoenix models, 1-400 scale Lufthansa Airbus A340-300 in the Star Alliance livery. Star Alliance, what a gorgeous plane this is. Absolutely fantastic effort. So glad to have this after seeing it so many times in a very special aircraft for a very long time to come. So we're not going to waste any further time and go ahead and look at this spectacular offering here by none other than Phoenix models. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and take a look at this. As you can see right here, we have the cockpit windows along with the nose cone there looking very good. Then we have the Lufthansa logo once again, Star Alliance logo, and then the L1 door. Before we get the nose landing gear here, that looks really good. And we got some prefixes of the registration there too, which is really nice. Again, really cool landing gear with the Phoenix models and how they have that metallic piece, really unique. Antenna, and then you got the stubby box right here, not the actual Wi-Fi box, I don't think. And then the ginormous star titles right here with all the letters spelled out individually after the L1 door. Then you're going to have your first class here, of course, before you get into some business and the premium economy and the other classes that this aircraft does facilitate. The L2 door right here, and then you get the beautiful Alliance title. So let me get that kind of centered up so you can see. And it looks really good. It takes over pretty much half the fuselage to conduct that Alliance title. So that's really cool to see. So definitely a really impressive showing right there for that. Then you get the wing root, which is really fluid. So that's a really cool benefit of the A340 mold here by Phoenix. You got the two engines right there. They look super nice along with the main landing gear right there. And they do roll pretty adequately. Then we got the winglet right here as well, along with the flap slats and speed brake detail. And I think it says don't step on it there on that little yellow piece, along with some other warnings throughout there too. So that's really nice. Up here you have the brown, or sorry, that's gray this time, Wi-Fi box. All the colors seem to be different, so this one appears to be more of a grayish. You got this antenna along with the last W one right there, so that also looks really good. And then, of course, you have the windows back there that look really good. Airbus A340-300, a city name, and then Delta Alpha India Golf Charlie. I don't know which one. I'm sure I've seen this one at this point, unless it got repainted at some point. But I've seen several of them. I've seen the one without the Lufthansa logo on it. I've seen the one with the Lufthansa logo. So I've seen like every iteration. So I'm not exactly sure when I saw this aircraft, but if I didn't, then just substitute one of the other ones I saw at that point. And again, the Star Alliance logo looks absolutely fantastic there. Big shout out to Star Alliance, man. Check out his channel. He does some incredible work, not only with his in-flight videos, but also his model airports S tier. You can also see the horizontal stabilized APU and the rest of the great detail there. Right side of the aircraft also looks absolutely terrific. You can see the various details there. The engines look really good. He actually, Star Alliance man, flew at A340-600 back from Munich, come back to the United States a few months ago, which was really cool. So definitely awesome to see that. You can see also the various pieces of the wing here and how that's cast, and overall it looks really good. Top of the aircraft looks absolutely terrific. Love the detail. Again, flap slats and speed brakes very adequately represented there. In the bottom of the aircraft, you do have the red back antenna right there, which is really nice. So that's certainly really cool to see. Yeah, you got the stand hold, the landing gear, of course, just one bogey there in the middle on the 300, so that's really cool, and all the various details. Really cool model, very special one to have after seeing it so many times. I probably don't need any more Lufthansa planes, and definitely don't now after getting the two that I kind of wanted on the side, if that makes sense. So very excited to have these. Let's go ahead and line these all up and see what all these aircraft are about, guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Alrighty, everybody, take a look at all these models here from Massive Unboxing number 43. Just take a look at these. We got that Aeromexico DC-8 right here, looking absolutely fantastic. Let me get the light back there a little bit. There we go. Very, very nice model right there. Very unique. So thank you so much, Aviation LAS, for that aircraft, and also the National Airlines Doubles DC-871 Freighter. really cool livery and a very cool mold. So I'm not exactly sure how I'll use these two yet, but certainly will be a nice asset there. Very nice right there. Then we have the Southwest 737 MAX 8 in the pink one fantasy livery. I certainly would never have expected this aircraft, but hey, it looks good and I'm excited to use it in the fictional realm. So that'll be very nice right there. Delta 737-800 will be a very nice rotational piece. Again, old mold, so very cool asset there and certainly a very nice one. So very excited to utilize that here in the near future. And we got the Salmon People Alaska 737-800. Thank you so much, Mom, for surprising me with this, and luckily easy fix. So we'll get that fixed, but nevertheless, what can you do about it when they come for you? So there it is right there. Have an Air Canada Jazz CRJ200. Thank you, Mom, so much for this as well with the beautiful red. It looks really nice. So glad to have my first NG CRJ200. It's truly a great model, so that's really, really nice right there. Air Lingus Airbus E33300. Thank you so much, Gavin, for this. Looks really good. Love the color on it, and so glad to represent some more Irish heritage there. It's absolutely awesome. At the Airbus A350-1000 corporate model, glad to have yet another really cool house livery, and this one looks really good. So excited to see where I can display that in the future, maybe doing a flyover at Great Plains or equivalent. Lufthansa Airbus A350-900, again, very sentimental model, and very glad to have this one after all the memories at Chicago for Airliners International 2022. Same song, second verse. However, this one is more obviously with just spotting sessions with the Lufthansa Airbus E4300 in the Star Alliance livery. Really glad to get this. It's a truly great model. Phoenix did an awesome job. Excited to utilize those in the near future. So I really hope that you all enjoyed this massive unboxing. So many cool planes in it. Very excited for the next one. Also very excited for a very new video series that will be starting soon. I don't know what I'll call it yet, but nevertheless, I'm going to be encompassing all the airline memorabilia that I get during my trip. So that's going to include safety cards, the plastic glasses that the airlines give you, snack mixes, and so much more. So excited to take a look at all that, and I hope you all are as well. But nevertheless, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.